Hi there, I'm Mathew from EsitoLabs, and in this demo, you're going to see our Reddit community agent working inside of Google Chat. There's no dashboard and no login because all the agents we build, they work like teammates inside of the chat tools you're already using, whether that be Slack, Discord, or Microsoft Teams. And then just quickly before I jump into the demo itself, a quick outline of what to expect here. So first, I'm going to show you the outline of how the agent works. And then second, we'll interact with the agent itself inside of Google Chat. And then thirdly, I'm going to touch on the core concept of EsitoLabs, which is outcomes over outputs. So with that out the way, let's jump into the agent wireframing. Okay, so here we are. This is the WAT framework, or the WAT framework, and it's how we are building all of our agents at EsitoLabs. And essentially just three things to know: workflows, agent, and tools. So it's essentially the same as how you would make a new hire, and you would brief someone new to your team in the same way. We are just doing that in an agentic method. So your workflows is going to cover things like your standard operating procedures, your internal memos, any facing documents that someone's going to find useful. And the agent is going to essentially orchestrate as a hire or a teammate would, and then it's going to do that by using tools. So the tools that it'll use is the API scraper to find discussions or posts or whatever the case may be. And then it's also using tools such as LLMs to handle drafts and responses. So those three layers together are what forms the backbone of the agent. And then the best thing to do is just to show you it actually working all together, which is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to jump into Google Chat. The agent is typically set up on a cron job. In most cases, we set it to 9 a.m., but it's completely up to you. It can be every hour, every 4 hours, every 6 hours. It can run 24/7. This case is just mimicking something that is set up at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's the most usual one that we see. So it's triggered off, and then we're going to discuss with the agent in this thread over here. So just following once, we can say next. We're using a fictitious electric vehicle charging brand called Volt Nomad. So everything is set up for a brand called Volt Nomad. And the first one that it's found, so it's found 3 in the last 24 hours. And then you can see there's the subreddit URL along with the post and the response. So the first sentence, I'm on the team at Volt Nomad, so factor that in, but your friend has a point. So that's an example of the agent using the guardrails. So in this particular case, we have told it to disclose where appropriate. So if someone's looking for the product, you can choose to add that disclosure. Again, everything's human approval. It's not going to post by itself, but it's just an extra guardrail that the agent is working on. So this one, we're going to approve this one. So I need to add the agent rather than just approve. So approve. So this is going to get stored in the database, and we're going to score it so that in the future, the agent will have a set of examples that are rated by you and your team according to how good you think the output is, and then it will iterate and learn on that so that in future it's going to be tighter in line with exactly what you want. So let's score it, and we'll give this a rating of good, and then that's going to get saved. And then the next one now coming through, So let's see what it's found here. So we've got one from the Rivian subreddit asking about charging at campgrounds. So this one I see there's quite a bit of technical stuff in there. So what I might do is just ask the agent to redraft with this technical jargon. And then that'll go back to the knowledge files in the database and just tone it down a little bit with less sort of chatty numbers and letterings. So there we go. You can see the difference already there. So again, the disclaimer is there. I'm on the team of False Nomad. You can see, yeah, so that looks a lot less intimidating to someone who's new to electric vehicles. So we will go through this one, and this one will also bring up the same scoring. So let's give this an okay. So that goes off, and the next one is going to fire back at us. So let's see what number 3 is. The third one has come back, and okay, we can have a read through that, and let's decide, okay, we don't like this. So this will just ask the agent to skip it, and then that'll be the end of it. So there we go. There's the wrap up of the day. All done, 2 approved, 1 skip. Say reset demo to start that one. We're not going to do that. So we're going to jump back into the main thread. That's the agent interaction at work, but human in the loop is an important point for me to touch on. None of the outputs that you've just seen in the chat tool are going to be auto-posted. So whoever owns the channel on your team will need to be the one to take approved drafts and to post them. EsitoLabs, the core premise is outcomes over outputs. So the way that we are approaching agents is to deliver tangible, measurable results for clients. So if we go back to the Reddit example that we've just been through, an example of an output would be just 500 replies drafted, whereas an outcome is taking the number of referral sessions from Reddit from, for example, 120 to 600. Another example, 200 threads answered in Reddit versus from 0 to 35 qualified inquiries a month from Reddit. If we expand beyond Reddit, so 5,000 fitment records built, or a 12% to 6% reduction in fitment-driven return rate. These are examples of outcomes. And it's essential to how we build the agents rather than just give outputs. So you're paying for outcomes. So this is the shift that we're built for. Not a tool for you to operate, but the actual outcome itself. And just the medium that we're using to get there is AI agents. So the agent retainers are $149 a month. There is a one-off setup fee for the knowledge layer. And all future agents use the same database. So that's a one-off fee, but expandable in the future. If you would like to schedule a call, you can do that via the calendar link. This call will cover exactly what outcomes you want out of the agent so that you have hard data in terms of a return on your investment. And if you're not ready for a call but still have some questions, feel free to send me an email. All your questions will be dealt with directly by myself. Thanks for taking the time to watch this demo. Cheers.